Hi everyone. Hello. Okay, let me say hi to everybody. Evie, RGN, Dalewood, Phaedra, Lilac, Lotus, Lindsay, Eliz, Rolanda, Darren, Evangelista, Dawn, Rachel, MJ, Angel Star, Beth, Leah, Cece, Marie, Jelma, Owie, Reg, Fire Butterfly, Shelling, Cindy. Oh, Fire Butterfly is also on Twitch. Jean, Bora Winkle, Lakeisha, Sin City, Celeste is also on Twitch. Evie, Helena, Melanie, Carla Girl, Florence, Monine, Pinayonce, Seda, PZ, Romy, Zora, Elisa, or Elisa. My dog wants to say hi as usual. So, come here. Okay. Hello. Okay. Why are you grunting? Okay. Okay. So, several announcements. So, actually, our lanyard girl has an announcement. She wanted me to say, um, what was it that you wanted me to say? Vaidra. Okay, so so there are certain things that we're going to be doing. Hi, Deb, back there. Say hi to you. Say hi. Hello. Hello. First, the major announcement is that there is a change in location and where we're going to have dinner because Harry actually closed. They didn't really provide any reason, so they just informed me. I'm guessing it's because I don't know, like some sort of a pipe burst. I don't know, and they couldn't even tell me when they're actually gonna go back on. So they're going to be reopening. So okay. So let's go to the barn. The good news is that it's a pretty place. I've posted here some of the pictures. I actually took a video, but I wasn't able to post it. But there is a video. It's pretty here. Wait. Okay. Are you seeing what I'm okay? So um okay, so here are some of the pictures. Pretty pictures in the barn. It's not as pretty as the Harry, but still pretty. So it's going to be closer. I think it's going to, well, it's in the same side as the Line Hotel. And they have flavored soju here. Yeah, they have flavored soju. So there's like apple, peach, grape, yogurt. Yogurt is my favorite. So, you know, but it's pretty. It's just that I was really hoping it was going to be hairy. Um, so Phaedra said, look for me after 11 a.m. at the venue Friday. So after 11 a.m. at the venue on Friday, she's saying. So this is BMO. But where are they going to look for you, Phaedra? Hi, Butuan. Oh my God, they stay there. This is a province on the southern part of the Philippines. Butuan. Okay. This is the southern part of the Philippines. It's so pretty. So yeah, you guys have to go there when you go to the Philippines. Phaedra story just got the flyers updated and posted to WhatsApp for everyone. We'll also post on Patreon tonight. Okay, so they updated the barn is where we're going to be having dinner. And then Phaedra is saying look for her at the venue at 11 a.m. on Friday. So 11 a.m. Friday venue, that you mean BMO, right? So I guess you're going to be falling in line for the merch. Am I correct? So for the suite, everyone's going to go to the suite with us. We are peach soju, Jalma said. So we're going to have our own lanyard. Now, I also have good news and bad news. The bad news is that they won't let me carry all my goodies, the ones that I was supposed to be giving away to everybody. Not all of it, They said I can just carry like a bag, but not all of it. So I guess I will be bringing some in our dinner. Um, Elizabeth said it looks Cali rustic. It is. That's how they styled it. So, um, okay. So, Phaedra, am I correct? So they're going to be looking for you 11 a.m. at BMO, and then she actually give me 1 second because she wanted me to show the what purse she's going to be carrying, um, so that you can spot her is easily. Give me. She posted it on Patreon. Okay. This is the purse that she'll be carrying. So you have when you go to the venue, look for that. You when you see this purse, then you know that it's her. Okay, 1 second. We're going to be having a lot of fun. I'm so excited already. I swear. I can't sleep properly. I'm so excited to watch him. To watch J-Hope. Okay, so that is her dog, and that's the purse that she's going to be carrying. All for J. Yeah, this is not J Hope. This is J. Okay, am I correct, Phaedra? So they'll look for you in BMO after 11 a.m. because you'll be there to try and get some merch. You'll fall in. You'll go on queue to try and get some merch. Darren, how much stuff do you have for the suite? Maybe some of the others can meet you outside and split it up to carry in. The problem is that so I was going to put it in a canvas bag. They did not allow that because it has to be transparent. They said whatever it is that you're carrying has to be transparent. They're going to be a little lenient. This is the thing. So this guy told me in the one of the customer assistants told me, oh, they said just bring everything. It's not a problem because we're in the suite, so they're not as like strict. But then my agent was like, nah, just don't, just bring one of each, like if give them one giveaway each and then just bring the other, the other giveaways another time. So I'll bring one of each or maybe two of each for you, and then the rest I'll just give away in the dinner. um do you mind showing us example of the giveaway? Oh, BTS stuff, like merch from BTS, like stuff like whatever it is that they sell, like booklets and but it's official merch of BTS, things that I've collected in the years. So I told you I would always buy like two or three. So the ones that I keep one for myself and the rest I'm just going to give away. Like for example, V's booklet, I have, I think, one more extra or two more extra, something like that. So I'm just going to give that away. And then I have some, yeah, some stuff like, yeah. Phaedra, thank you, Phaedra. And she said I'll be near the merch tables when then 5 p.m. starting at the suite entrance. I'll be accepting gifts of cups of iced tea, ice or coke, and small snacks. Okay, so Jelma, thank you. No, I no, you guys are nice. I'm not as nice as you guys are. Okay, so that's the announcement for the venue. And then I also posted, um so I'll share this. So there's the menu. The restaurant wants us to put in our order on Friday the latest. No, sorry. Yeah, Friday the latest. So if you can give it to me, the drinks you're good. We can just put that order on the day. But for the rest, like for the food or whatever, you will have to give me the orders in advance because they want to prepare it because it's a big party. I mean, there's many of us. So it's in the J Hope LA group plans. And then if you want to check out the actual entrance where it's going to be, go to this all of these links are in the J Hope LA plans. go to here, go to this page. It's as I've said, the link is there. And then find the Grand Lobby North or South. So if you click that, you're going to see that. So this is the entrance. If you zoom out, this is BMO, and this is the entrance. So if you see the Ticketmaster box office, you're close to where the entrance is. So facing the Ticketmaster box office, if you're facing it, it's to your right. Okay. And then you'll see the Sweets Kick and then King's Hawaiian Grill. Okay. So all of that will be there. So you enter either through, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So there, if you, let's go back. So here, so go to the, in Patreon, go to the JHOPE um, LA plans, JHOPE LA plans. There's a link there that will take you on this page. And then on this page, you will see the links as to where the exact location is of the entrance. So you need to go through, we're going to use the Grand Lobby entrance north or south. So for you to know where that is, click this link. That'll take you here. It'll show you exactly where the entrance is. If you zoom out, this is the BMO station, stadium. This is the entrance, north entrance. And then if you see, the marker is the Ticketmaster box office. The Ticketmaster box office, if you see that, if you're facing Ticketmaster box office, it's to your right, and you'll see the Grand Lobby entrance. Okay. Now, for you to see, just to give you an idea here. So this is, so go to JHOPE in Patreon, JHOPE LA group plans. I posted it March 26th, and then the links are there. So this link is where the main page is, where you will see all the link. And then this is the link for the north entrance and south entrance. And this is how the grand lobby looks like. So if you enter and you don't see something like this, you're probably in the wrong place. So yeah, 360 photo, you can see what it looks like. It's basically the same thing. But you can just rotate. So you enter. So there should be stairs. Okay. Okay. Do you have questions on that? I'm still showing the bag. That is strange. Stop sharing. And then I'll share it again. Okay. Do you see it now? Do you see it now? Are you seeing the JHOPE page in Patreon? Oh, okay. All right. So just go to okay, since I'm here, so go to the JHOPE LA group plans. I posted it in Patreon. I posted it March 26th. Scroll down. You'll see the dinner venue change from Harry to Barn Cafe, and then this is the buffet address, still close. And then scroll down a little bit more. You'll see the details for the entrance. Click this. This link is going to take you to the main. Scroll down the main page where all the links are. For you to find the grand lobby, click it. Okay, and then you're going to see where it is. So it's going to point to you exactly where it is. This is BMO, the BMO, and then this is the entrance. So if you are facing, so the marker is the Ticketmaster box office. So if you see it on your right, if you're facing it, to your right should be where the entrance is. And this is how it's supposed to look like, the grand lobby entrance. One second. Give me 1 second. Okay. So this is how the grand lobby entrance should look like. Okay, so if you enter and this is not what you see, you're in the wrong place. Okay, and then yeah, so those are the details. Any questions on that? So for the giveaway, I'll try to bring two of each, two giveaways to per person. And then, let's see if they will let me carry it inside. This other guy keeps on telling me that he said, no, don't think about it. They'll be lenient because you're in the suite or whatever. But okay. Do you have questions about that? Did anyone sign up for J-Hope offline radio event? I did. I don't know if I'm going to win, but I but I signed up. Okay. Do you have questions? Do you have questions? Okay, let me. I think I uploaded the wrong thing. Okay. All right. So, in the last several days, so as you know, I've tried to um, do as much as I can to try and collect some donation so that we can buy more of J Hope's tickets to try and sell it out. So the only regret that I had is that I should have started it earlier. I know that it was actually one of you who suggested that. I didn't do it because I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and it was. It's just that I just felt so bad because I knew that had it happened, this concert, had it happened in the right time, then J Hope wouldn't have any problem um selling out BMO. And I definitely have no doubt he can also sell out SoFi. It's just that the fire happened, and then there's so many things happening, and then Ticketmaster just really messed everything up. So I was like, okay, let's just do this. And so far, we've actually, in total, we've given away 12 tickets. So it's not, given that there's still, I think, about 900 tickets still available, it's not much, but at least there are 10 more armies that are down in their luck that can actually enjoy the concert. So there are several more, like, one thing that I've learned is that people, just the tenacity and the strength of people to go through life and how brave they are despite all the problems that they are encountering. And I wish I have millions of dollars just so I can buy each of them a ticket so that they can all go. So yeah, and then the other thing is that some of them don't know, like they would hear of the giveaway late, and so they would write their story, but it's too late because I've already given away all the tickets. So, as I wish I had all the millions in the world, and I would buy everybody a ticket. So maybe I think the lesson is that maybe in next time if something like this happens, I should probably just like do something earlier, right? To start things earlier so that we can make a bigger dent in all of it. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if there's anybody who's going to, there's this one I feel so bad because she learned, I guess she saw my post late, and she saw it on X, and she was like, and this is a true blue J-Hope bias, and she's just really going through a hard time. I wish, like I said, like, you know, if I knew of it earlier, then I would give it her a ticket, but it's too late. So, but okay, so but next time I think that's the lesson. If anything like this happens, then maybe we should just do something about it earlier, right? Or I should do something about it earlier so that there's a bigger dent that we can make. But for now, that's all we could do. At least that's 10 tickets that we were able to give away. Okay, so Should we start? Do you have questions first before I move on to the next topic? I will call on my fairy godmother to give BTS ticket delivery. I will go pull that name right now. I feel like I'm missing big pieces of the BTS universe puzzle. It is not the one thing that I kind of like think about the universe, the Bangtan universe, is that it's not done. There's a long way from being done. So I know a lot of people sort of assumed, and rightfully so, that after the notes was the book, the two books, the notes, after those were released, they kind of assumed that everything is done, but I don't think so. So yeah. Tisa said just start collecting money, and if there are no tickets, then give the money to charity. What you've done is wonderful. Thank you. It's just that, I feel bad. Like one of you actually, I don't remember who it was, but one of you already suggested. I was like, yeah, I hope somebody does it just because it's really a lot of work, right? Because one of the things that I don't want to happen is for the donors to actually doubt where I'm putting the money. I'm not I'm not going to use the money for anything else. So like really have to make sure that everything is documented, that I'm screen capping everything, that once I make the purchase, I actually send it to everybody who donated. And then, also to screen everybody who's asking for tickets, because I want to make sure that those that will get the tickets are actual armies, like real armies. So just scrolling through their timelines, trying to see if they've, all of those things, it's a lot of work. And then after that, communicating with them, coordinating, then it's a lot, and that's just 10 tickets. So which I kind of knew, that's why I said maybe somebody else can do it, I'll just donate. But when nobody was doing it, I just felt so bad. So I decided to do it. But anyway, that's the lesson, right? um at Phaedra. What is Phaedra saying? So Phaedra, Elizabeth said, no, don't say that. You are a precious army, no exploding anything. Okay, Elizabeth, Phaedra said that. I have the wormhole one. It's into the Bantan universe wormhole. Okay. All right. So let's go to the topics that we have for today. What do you want to begin with? Maybe I can get this out of the way because a lot of people are asking me about this issue about Kim Soru. And okay, so I just want to make a brief statement because I don't have any plans on talking like in extensively about it. Primarily because it's a very sensitive thing. It's an actual life. One is living and the other life passed away. So, and there are real families who are grieving and are hurt, and we really don't know what happened. So, it really looks bad for him, but I think by now that my stance has always been that everybody deserves their day in court. They deserve their day. They deserve that. They have the right to have a day in court. So let's just I would rather just let the court handle it, and once everything is done, then we will know the result. I don't want to disrespect the memory of the girl, and I as I've said, I know that she has a family that's grieving, so I want to respect that. um that's it. I don't want to dive into that any deeper. That's where I stop. So for those of you asking, that's where I am. Okay. Do you want to do Bangtan Universe first, or do you want to talk about the fact that HYBE apparently is now the fourth largest music label in the world? So it is slowly inching its way to the big three, and it's probably going to be the big four very, very soon. So as you know, HYBE also bulldozed this way. It entered the big four. It became a member of the big four in South Korea, and now it is slowly becoming a member of the big ones in the West as well. So currently, it is number four. So number one is still Sony Music. We're going to explain this in a bit. So Sony Music is actually worth $149.6 billion. Okay, 149.6 0.76 billion. But this is a little complicated, and we will discuss that in a bit. And then Universal Music is actually 50.61 billion, okay, dollars. And then this is market cap, all right? And then Warner Music Group is 16.20 billion. Okay. And then HYBE, a newcomer, less than 5 years in the US, it's worth $6.6 billion. Okay. So, yes, it is a big lead, especially from number one to number four. That's a big lead. But there are some complications. And the first, we are talking capitalization, or what we call market cap, because we're lazy. And it is a financial metric that represents the total dollar value of a company outstanding shares. So this is in reference to their stocks, not necessarily the value of the company. So they serve as a measure of its size and public perception of its worth, because stocks is usually based on public perception. It's not based on the actual value of the company or the sales or the revenue. So, market cap is a way to measure the total value of a publicly traded company based on its stock price. For you to know what a market cap is, what you do is take the total shares, total share price, the amount of the share price. So, for example, if there's $200 per share, multiply that to the total number of shares. So, if there are 1,000 shares out there, you multiply that to 200, and that is your total market cap. So if there are 100 million shares rotating in the market and each share is worth $50, then the total market cap would be 5 billion, because 100 million multiplied by 50, then that's 5 billion. That being said, the stock price of a company actually changes almost second by second, right? So that means the total market cap of a company also changes by the second. So it isn't a fixed. So, and then there are crashes. Sometimes a company crashes 20%, 30%. God forbid, it crashes 50%. So it could be worth 6 billion now and then 3 billion the next day. So it's not a fixed amount, it's not a fixed value, it moves by the second. Now, there are four classifications of a market cap. Large cap would be any company that's over 10 billion. So given that HYBE is not yet, hasn't crossed 10 billion yet, it's still considered a medium cap or mid cap. It is any company that is worth market cap worth between 2 billion and 10 billion. That's mid cap. That's HYBE. That's where HYBE falls. Now, everyone else above HYBE, because they're all worth more than 10 billion, they are large cap. So Warner, Sony, and Universal, those are all large cap. And then if you go below, if you are between 300 million to 2 billion, you're actually a small cap company. Micro cap is any company below 300 million. Okay. Elena is asking me to, I don't know how to open the subtitle because I'm using a different platform. I'm not using directly YouTube. I will learn how to do that. Okay. Live translation. Okay. So right now, HYBE is a mid cap company, not large cap yet, but I think soon they're going to cross that. Okay. So keep in mind, though, that market cap is based on an investor's perception and the stock market performance, not the company revenue or profit. Amy Cohen, thank you. Since HYBE has HYBE America, do you feel HYBE will go on the Nasdaq soon? Yes, I do think that they're going to either go Nasdaq, but yes, they're going to get enlisted in the US for sure. And I think that's going to happen in the next 2 years. I think so. Yes. Okay. So this is, as you know, stock market is highly speculative. So we're just guessing the company's demand. So I could, for example, a company, and this is for all of you who are trying to get into stocks, you buy low. That's what you should be doing, right? So you buy low. Remember the time when, was it Avis? Was it Avis? This car company that tanked. They actually declared bankruptcy. They declared Chapter 11. And this was during COVID, a car rental company, and they declared bankruptcy. The very next day, their stock went up 2,000%. And I think they went up to about 10,000. I could be exaggerating, but it was unbelievable. And the reason is that people were just speculating that it's going to rebound. They wanted to make some quick cash. And so when it tanked, the stock value tanked as well. So it was down to cents. And so people were like, "Oh my god, I can buy 10,000 stocks and, for less than $500." Sure. So a lot of people thought that way, and then when it started going up, because it's based on demand, the more people buying the stock, then the higher the stock goes, the price. So since people saw it was going up, then other people bought until it went up and up and up. And then at some point people were like, okay, I'm happy with my earnings, I'm going to let go now. And so it tanked again. So it is very, very speculative. So it's not necessarily based on the performance. So a company could be doing really well, but if people feel like, it's not going to go anywhere, it's going to be stagnant, then the stock could actually also be stagnant, if not crash. Okay. All right. Now, so just keep in mind about the market cap, because a lot of people like sensationalizing things that, oh, it's the fourth largest in the world. It's just based on market cap. Okay, so this is how much HYBE stock is actually worth right now. It's 232. They are up 18.44% year to date. So this is where they started below 200. I think they started about 180 at the beginning of the year. They are at 235. So when it was down and you bought, congratulations, you're up 18.44. All right. Okay. Now, about Sony, if you remember, I said that Sony's market capitalization is worth 149.76 billion. So you can combine these three together and it won't match their market cap. And the reason is Sony actually has a mother company, and that is Sony, this huge Japanese company. So Sony Music is actually under Sony, and Sony has a lot of companies under it. Okay. So, for example, they have the game and network services, they have music, they have pictures. We have Sony Pictures, entertainment technology and services, imaging and sensing solutions. So, these are cameras, and then financial services, Sony Financial Group. So, there's a lot of companies under Sony. And since their stock is hinged on the main company, the mother company, the umbrella company, then it carries the value of all of these companies. So the value that you see, their market cap, isn't exclusive to music. It goes on to represent, it actually represents the entire company. So a better gauge is actually company valuation. And the company valuation is determined, it is based on the net worth, um, investments, their taxes, the assets that they hold, their cash flow, liabilities, all of that. So it's not like you're just adding things together. There are ways on how to compute that. So once they compute that, that is the total valuation of a company. Now things change. If you only really consider the valuation of the company, UMG is actually the biggest. It is 40 billion in valuation. So this is the market cap. I am sorry, 149 is supposed to be Sony. 40 billion UMG, 25 billion Sony Music, 19.61 Warner Music. So the gap isn't as wide, because HYBE, even its valuation is actually still at 7 billion, a nice balance from its market capitalization. So its valuation is 6 billion. So again, the 149.76 is supposed to be Sony Music in market cap, but the leading is UMG. So under UMG, there are a lot of other companies, but as I've said, it isn't Hybe isn't so far. Like that's a that becoming number three isn't so bad, right? It's not such an impossible task for them. So okay, Black who's Naomi? There's a spammer. Ah, Naomi. Block her. So Naomi, if you don't want me to block you, don't spam. If you spam, I'm going to block you. Okay. All right. So now the question is, even with them being the number four biggest company, why are they not as influential as the other three? Because remember, UMG, Sony, Warner, it's very easy for them to call a radio station. I've run a video on that. It was actually Benny Blanco um, talking about how easy it was for the music labels to call the radio stations to rotate to put the new song that he did and wrote for Maroon 5 instead of the one that they originally planned. So move like Jagger. So he was the one who wrote that. And when the label heard it, so that I played that video last time. So it was easy for the labels. They said call the radio stations and change the music that they will be putting on rotation. So it was that easy and it was number one for a really, really long time. So that kind of an influence Hype doesn't have. In fact, many of the artists, five specifically BTS members, they've released some of the best songs, and many of them are actually English, but they still didn't enjoy the same amount of radio spins that a Maroon 5 would enjoy. And that is, it boils down to influence. It's nothing else. It's really just influence. So the question is, if you are the fourth biggest with billion valuation as a company and 6.6 billion market cap, why are you not as influential as the others? Okay. I didn't block Naomi. So she still can comment. So Naomi, just don't spam. Okay. All right. So that's one of the things that I've learned in this stream. I don't want to be too harsh and to rush into a decision. So just gave her a warning. Just don't spam. So she's still around if she wants to comment. It's okay. Okay. So hi, Christy. All right. So why are they not that influential is the question. Why are they not able to support Jungkook as much? They give some support to Jungkook, but it wasn't enough. Jimin, J-Hope, these people who've actually released they've all released English songs. Why aren't they getting the same amount of support? Okay, number one is that they are just starting. So their global infrastructure is still just building. They're not there yet. The big three, Universal, Sony, and Warner, they have offices, radio connections, industry ties, and influence across every continent because they've been there for a really long time. The relationships have been established, their infrastructure has been established. Essentially, the people that are leading these companies grew up with the people that are leading radio and leading all of the streaming companies. So it's easy for them to pick up the phone and change the song in rotation. Okay. Hybe has made its move though. The acquisition of Ithaca Holdings and also the other companies that um, they've already bought. All of this is their way of establishing their roots. But as I've said, just like a new plant, while the others are already a tree, they're just starting to blossom. So they're a long way from becoming an institution in the US. Its influence in markets like Latin America, Africa, and even parts of Europe is even more minute. is even more insignificant. So they are actually strongest in the US compared to Europe or Latin America or Africa. You want to go down, baby? Okay, say bye bye to my subscribers. Bye. Say bye bye. Say bye bye. Say bye bye. Bye bye. Say bye bye. Bye bye. Say bye bye. Bye. Okay. All right. So that's one. They're still just building up. I know that they get a lot of flack for not being able to provide um the BTS members the radio support. And of course I feel bad about it. I do want them to get radio support, but the reality of the situation is that they are still a new player in the market. They haven't planted their roots, and that's going to take some time. That's the primary reason they aren't able to. Now, in an ideal world, of course, radio stations should be playing those songs because they know that people are going to listen. But this is not an ideal world. That's the reality of the situation. They have decades long relationship with radio conglomerates like iHeart, Odyssey, um, and Big Hit does not. I mean, Hybe does not have that kind of relationship. So if the label wants to push a certain song to number one in Billboard Hot 100 or in Inside Top 10, they can just pick up the phone, ask the radio stations to change their song in rotation, and they'll be able to get it. The executives often sit on boards or advisory groups within the industry. Not a lot of people know this, but the same executives in music labels are also board members or board of directors in different radio stations. Many radio stations like iHeart are actually owned by bigger companies. And usually, these bigger companies assign these music executives as a board representative in that radio station. So that gives them a lot of influence. As of now, neither Scooter Braun nor Bang Shiyuk is sitting on any board of any radio station. So that is a big thing that they need to work on. They need to be able to sit on board. They need to build more relationships with the executives of radio station. Now, remember that BTS struggled for years to get mainstream radio play despite global streaming success. And as I've mentioned in my last live stream, allegedly, the CEO of Columbia, Ron Perry, who was their former distribution partner, actually had to have a meeting, allegedly, one on one with different radio station managers just to get Dynamite in the rotation of the radio stations. And then when it was butter, because he knew it was going to be harder for this radio station managers to accept another song from a non-American, a non-English speaking group, he actually put his name on the song just so people will think, oh, it's a Ron Perry song. So they put it on rotation. Those are alleged. I have no proof. If you ask me, just rumors. Okay. Now, another thing is the influence of Western media on, sorry, influence of Western companies on Western media. Now, big three have embedded PR arms and industry press connections. So, like Rolling Stone, Billboard, Variety, all of these media publications, they, just like radio stations, would either have representatives in the board of directors of these publications, or they simply have a really, really strong relationships that have been built for decades. Considering that BTS or Big Hit hasn't been around for more than a decade, it's not even 5 years in the US as a company, then they are just starting out. They don't have this embedded PR and industry connections yet. So, given that the Western labels are actually in connection, they have a clear connection with these media companies, they can shape the narratives. So, if they want, this is what they call the industry plans. If they want to launch an artist and make this artist very, very big, they can ask publications to be consistent in a certain way, consistent in their writing, in order to plant the image on the heads of the readers. So if you say, like, this is the breakthrough artist of the year, because of this, because because she sounds crazy and she's snobbish and she wages war against the reporters, then people are going to think that. If they want to project another artist to be very, very organic because she used to be in a social media platform, just, grinding it on her own, and we discovered her because of her great music, then if it is the consistent narrative across different media publications, then that will help in convincing other people that that artist is exactly how is described. So often this is a very, very um common tactic among PR and marketing people. We actually use leaks and exclusives and anonymous sources a lot to influence headlines subtly in favor of their acts. They are not they're not leaks. They're not they're not from anonymous sources most of the time. A PR person or a marketing person will just give clues, or they will use an email that is not often used to email different reporters or to text different reporters and to give tips, but the reporters would actually know. But in the US, reporters actually have the right to protect their source. So if they say anonymous source, nobody can force them to reveal who that is. If you force them, then they will most likely, then we will know that they're actually usually from the same label. It's just that, take Apple, for example. That's why it's not related to music, but Apple on a yearly basis, they leak their phone, their phone feature. It's not a leak. They're actually, and some most often they would talk about like the next, even before the leak happens, you actually see the phone, they would release the features of the phone. Those are all calculated. Okay, now HYBE has made progress. We have had BTS appear in Time magazine. They've been on the Grammy to be interviewed. They've been on different evening shows. Now those are some headways, but those are still small efforts that are just producing big results because of the fandom of BTS. So primarily what's happening is that many of these media companies realize that if they print about something BTS, if they print something that is about BTS, then most likely people are going to buy their magazines. They're going to watch the video. And so they'll keep on doing it. It's primarily dominated and motivated by the support of the fans, not anything else. So it's not born out of the relationship of HYBE with the reporters or with the publications. It's born out of the support of the fandom. They also face cultural and, of course, language barrier. It's very hard for a reporter to have to pause every after question just to get the answer from a translator, because it takes away from the fluidity of the conversation. So there's a certain amount of candor that is lost when you are talking with somebody that speaks a different language. It is very possible, and they've been doing it for a really long time, but it would have been better if they both speak the same language, because as I've said, the establishment of the relationship would be better and easier. Okay. um I'm not knocking on anybody's English skill. If at all, I'm saying that it shouldn't be a problem, but it is, because reporters just don't have the and also just the natural flow of the conversation. Now the other thing is that Big Hit actually has a problem with concentration risk. They are still very, very BTS dependent internationally, because if you look at it, especially, and when I say, okay, not probably not international, but specifically on Europe and on the US, they're very dependent on BTS and the BTS members' career, because no other group, no other group is actually selling as much as BTS. So they're starting to, but it isn't as much as BTS. So right now, the closest that they have in Big Hit or HYBE is actually TXT, because they are now selling out arenas. Now, um, I have no doubt with TXT. I definitely think that they will eventually fill up, maybe an encore, a stadium tour, before they actually sign up for the military, before they enlist. So I don't doubt that. But as of the moment, they're still very dependent on BTS. And when your risk is concentrated as a company, then there isn't a lot of thing that you can't experiment so much, because you know that if you fail with one, then it can take you down. Um, they are trying to diversify. They tried with new jeans that failed 17, and of course they are diversifying by acquiring other companies that already have its own roster. So when they acquired Hybe America, at for some time they actually had other talents, but then they acquired Quality Control, and they have their own singers as well. And also, investors and industry insiders may see it as a volatile high performer, not a stable long term influencer like Universal. So they feel like, okay, you have BTS, but what else can do you offer? Like, they're not going to be around for the next 50 years. And if you are going to invest in something, that's what you want, something that will last 50 years or beyond. Now, the one strategy of Hybe that is different from the strategy that other US labels are using is that Hybe is very artist centric, not catalog centric. And so, for example, for Universal, Sony, and Warner, they have a massive amount of catalogs that continue to earn money from them. Beatles, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Celine Dion. So all of these artists, they will, even especially for the Beatles and Michael Jackson, all of these artists, even after passing away, their songs are still selling. So there's a consistent income from that. And it's not just selling on streaming, it's on syncs, it's being used by brands, it's being covered by other singers. But that happened because they have more than 50 years of history of being around. And so it allowed them to accumulate a huge amount of catalogs that are now starting to earn money from them. Not starting, but that are now actually earning money from them. So on Hybe, they have BTS. They're starting to grow their artists, the number of artists that they have, but they don't have decade long catalog, right? So they're still like building it up. So right now the only thing that they really have is BTS and BTS's songs. So that's the only one that's earning them money, and that can be a problem. So being artist centric in the beginning because they are just starting out, that's also getting in the way of them becoming influential in the West. So West meaning US and Europe. Okay. Next is that there is a cultural and institutional bias in the US. It isn't, so for example, Hybe is Korean based, and although K-pop is massive, it is globally massive, the Western music industry still centers itself in LA, New York, and sometimes London. So those are still the three main cities, and the big advantage of those three main cities is that they're all speaking the same language. Seoul, or Korea in general, speaks a different language, and so it's harder to communicate, it's harder to integrate that into that mix in the big three cities in the music industries. So that means Hybe has to work harder to be taken seriously in certain executive and institutional circles. So I think that is why they're starting to write more and more English songs, because they know that building that portfolio is going to be important in the long run. So the more English songs that they can write, then the better it is going for them in the future. Now, the bias is fading. As we know, they've made some headways. They're starting to get accepted, but it isn't as fast as we want it to be. Elena Lopez said, "Bias, you're so nice." Rolanda, "Bias, you're so nice." Okay, so Hybe is also more a brand, a multi-brand and multi-product entertainment company. It's a hybrid brand entertainment company. So if you go Sony Music, Universal, they are essentially centered on the artist. And then they just make the artist sign a 360 deal, so that if their agents get them an acting career, if they go on tour, if they lock a brand endorsement, then the music label will get a piece of the action. But primarily, their business is to build up the brand, and then other companies that they partner with will be the one that's selling the product that they have, monetizing that product that they have. When I say product, I mean the singer, right? So if I am Universal, my one and only goal is to make sure that this singer, Jane Smith, for example, becomes as popular as I can make her to be. And then from there, I'm going to contact CAA to sign them up so that somebody will represent them in their acting gigs, get them brand endorsements. And then I'm going to get in touch with Disney for their merch. And then I'm going to get in touch with whatever for their, all of those things. So I have the product, and then I partner with different agencies and different companies in order to monetize this product. Now, Hybe is different because they actually are building different platforms, different products that will convert the singer or the product into other forms of products. So, for example, they have Weavers, the mobile app. They are into gaming, but they are all using the likeness and the IP of the singer. So for them, it's not about connecting with another company that will monetize my product, but actually monetizing the product themselves and also transforming the product into different forms. So while this is very, very innovative, this non-traditional structure can also make it harder to categorize. So it may even create friction with traditional industry players. Because if you're doing everything, then you're essentially rendering your other companies useless. And they don't like that. CAA doesn't like not being useful or not being needed. So they're going to push back on whatever that you're doing. If you are, um, if you are rendering, for example, there are distribution companies, if you're not using a distribution company A because you're distributing it yourself, then you are making them irrelevant, and they don't like that, so they will most likely push you back. So the more revolutionary you are and innovative you are, the more pushback you're going to experience, and they are experiencing that pushback. Now in terms of media tactics, Hybe is also very different in their approach versus the big three, Sony, Universal, and Warner. So for example, for when it comes to rollout or launching an album or launching an artist, for the big three, they utilize press release, singles, TV appearances, radio, award shows, interviews, magazine covers, everything that you can think of that is traditional. That's what they do. They'll release, they'll do a press release, they'll send the person in different TV interviews, which will be easy for them because they have the connection. But with Hybe, it's always digital first. And the one thing that Hybe actually did is to get rid of the middleman. Middleman meaning media. What they're doing is they're just going straight to the consumers. So they would write us a notification, a letter, and saying that, oh, this product is going to be available very, very soon. And then they'll do a press release. So the fans already know. We're already in Weavers. We're already buying even before the mainstream media catches it. For example, the 7 moments that they're about to release, we all know about it, but it's not widespread in traditional media. So it's always social media first, direct to fan content and live streams, and then the mainstream media. Okay. Next, in terms of narrative control, sorry, in terms of narrative control, for big three, it's very limited because mostly social media, Q&As, fan clubs, and meet and greet. But for Hybe, it's very, very intensive. They, aside from doing social media and meet and greet, there will be a live stream, there will be a fan show, there's a fan event. They're going to go display, they're going to create a different experience for the fans. So theirs is so it's much more extensive. The programs that they have for the fans are much more extensive. And then big three, it's very, when it comes to crisis management, it's very quiet and behind closed doors. That's how they do crisis management. Anything comes out in the media like a scandal or something, how they're going to put that out is very, very low profile. You won't know what they're doing. So it's mostly utilizing, again, their relationship with the media. But for HYBE, it's often public facing. So there's statements, fan translations, and that could also mean fans are over involved. But there's pros and cons in everything. So in other words, this is your difference. For big three, it's very traditional. They always utilize the media. They always utilize the middleman. As opposed to HYBE, they got rid of the middleman and they're going straight to fans. Because that is new, there is no support in the Western industry. So when they do something like that, it's such a strange thing. We don't know about it. Now, is there a chance for HYBE, given that Universal and Warner and Sony have 100 years head start from them? Do they actually have a chance of becoming at the very least number two, number three, even if they don't go number one? There is, because one of the advantages of HYBE is that they're actually evolved. They welcome change and they're not afraid of change. Now, they don't always succeed in those changes, but nonetheless, they are not shying away from it. And the thing with change is that it is inevitable, it's going to happen. So the only thing that HYBE needs to do is to be prepared for it. So according to, and social media is going to be a huge part of it. According to the latest IFPI report, the growth of streaming actually went up incredibly in 2024. So it is now up 69% here. So streaming share of global revenues is 69%. Global subscription went up 9.5%, and global revenue growth is up 4.8%. So this is an IFPI research. And then, unfortunately, global physical revenue declined. So, as you know, people really went step back from buying physical albums. Vinyl is up a little for the collectors out there, but subscription on streaming platforms share of global revenue went up 51.2%, and the global performance rights revenue growth 5.9%. So in both of this, if you would observe, 69% up for streaming share of global revenues, and then 51.2% subscription streaming shares of global revenue. So it's really, really going up. Now, the top 10 biggest music markets remain. It's still US, number one. Number two is Japan. And then you have UK, Germany, China, France, South Korea, Canada, Brazil, and Mexico. So those haven't changed. Okay. Which plays to the advantage of old music labels, the giant ones, the big three, because it's been the same for a while, and they have established their connections in this country. So that plays to the advantage of the big three. Now, this is how it has moved. Red is physical sales. So look at how it has declined since 1999. Blue is streaming. So the consumption of people is really shifting to streaming. And then this is downloads. That's the green one. The pink is performance rights. So this is shares of revenue, by the way. Revenue. This is revenue. So the revenue share of physical sales is this much now. I don't know if I can move myself. Oh, sorry. And then streaming is blue. Performance rights is pink. Okay. So people are now skewed towards streaming. They're streaming more than they're buying. Now, the total streaming in terms of music consumption, 69% of consumption is actually total streaming. Physical is 16.4, and digital downloads of songs is only 2.8. 9.7 is performance right, and sync, meaning songs that are being taken to become a part of an OST or OST of a TV drama or a movie or TV commercial. Okay. So it's really streaming. That's where growth is going to be. So now many of these labels are still hinged on radio. And the only reason they're able to utilize that power is because Billboard still refuses to drop the ratings or the value of radio in their rankings, primarily because that's how these labels actually want it to be. Okay, so streaming is up 7.3. So it's the same story. It's still the same. Streaming is still up. Now, there are two things, according to the IFPI research, there are two things that will make a difference in the next 10 years. One is the use of power. Sorry, is use of AI. So a lot of labels are starting to use AI, but it's not, at least what they're saying is it's actually not for writing songs or composing songs. It's primarily for utilizing the ability of AI to do certain things. Like, for example, in the last single of the Beatles, they extracted the voice of John Lennon from an existing track in order to put it in the track that they are producing. So, and the same thing is true for George Harrison. So that's AI, but it's not like they asked AI to sing like John Lennon or write like John Lennon. It's just that AI has other capabilities that they are able to use now in order to make better music. Okay. Now, aside from AI, the other thing that will spell the difference is the integration of music and gaming. And as we know, as frustrating as it may be for a lot of people, HYBE is actually heavily invested in gaming. It's one of the things that they want to grow, gaming. So now IFPI is saying that a lot of the revenue is going to come from gaming because a lot of gaming companies are actually going to start using pop music, and then a lot of people are discovering music and experiencing certain music through gaming. So if HYBE plays their cards right, then most likely they'll be prepared for the future and they will overtake other agencies. They're going to earn more. The one thing about legacy or the big three here in the US is that they're more reactive than they are proactive when it comes to this. Okay. So this is how new generation is actually discovering music. So for Gen Z, social media is the primary way they discover music. But then for as you can see, it goes down as the people go older, grow older. So for boomers, it's only the second most popular source of them discovering music. But for Gen Z and millennials, social media is where they discover music. So social media is really actually going to play a huge role in the future of music. Now, and this is the average time each generation is actually spending on social media. So they said it for Gen Z, they spend almost 7 hours a day on social media. Millennials, 6.3 hours. Gen X, 6 hours. And then boomers, 5.4. So Gen X and Gen Millennials and Gen Z, they're in their phones a lot. Okay, so this is an article that you should visit. I will post this as a link in the description box once this is done. But basically, what this article is saying is that digitization and social media have revolutionized art. Because of social media, we view art in a different way. Because we used to think like, oh, art is supposed to be for the wall, or a song is written by someone really great and I will never have a chance at actually talking to that person. But because of social media, that has changed. We feel that artists should actually be in touch with their audience directly, because art, everything is more accessible because of social media, including art. So if they don't see the process of the creation of art, for them it is a little less authentic because they never witness the creation of it, as opposed to before, when we feel that art should only be presented when it is completed. And then there's the hybridization. That's the norm. Genres and disciplines now blend. Pop music comes with visual art. So music now, music videos are inevitable in music. So the only way the experience is going to be complete is when they actually merge. And then creators cross boundaries once that the people used to see as separate. As I've said, for us, it used to be that artists are untouchables. They will never actually meet them. Now that has changed. And then the superstar phenomenon draws attention to famous artists disproportionately, often valuing personalities over artistic depth. And we see this a lot in K-pop because people feel that it's all about the swagger, it's all about being the queen or being this or being that, but no one really looks into the depth of the music. So I recalled all of this. So the shifting culture. And so what's the connection between this and HYBE? Since HYBE is already doing all of this, they're in this realm already: gaming, social media, technology, AI. If they play their cards right, then they could emerge as the number one company in the world in the future. I don't think they can ever beat the big three in the game of the big three. That's not going to happen. There is so much gatekeeping, and the relationship of the big three with traditional media and with different suppliers are so strong, it will take a lot for them to break that down. But if Big Hit or Hybe, sorry, if Hybe actually manages to just create an entire industry to start the new generation of consumption, then they will have a better chance, because then they will be the pioneers in that instead of being a follower. So as of now, don't put too much emphasis on high becoming the fourth biggest company in the world, music label in the world in terms of market cap, because it's very very volatile. It moves by the second all the time. What is more important is the valuation of the company and the things that they are doing to be prepared for the future. And then the other thing is that whenever we hear like, oh, they're into gaming or they're trying this and they're trying that, don't make it our initial reaction to hate, right? Like we bash them right away, like this is not right and whatever. Remember that the things that we are doing, I don't know if you watched my interview with Debbie Soon, and she said that one of the strange things that she keeps on hearing from Gen X, her parents, is how they bash or hate on the things that she's doing and how they find it strange. But for her, because she's a millennial, for her it was like ordinary. It was like something that they just, that's how she grew up. She does these things on a daily basis. So when we hear Hybe experimenting with something, let's understand that it may not necessarily be for us. It's actually for the future generation, for the future market, and that market is important for them if they want longevity in terms of business. Okay, do you have questions? Did that make sense? Seda, good night. It's an exciting future for Hybe and Hybe artists, and very exciting for the soloists of BTS, of course, because they're just starting out their career as soloists. A lot of people don't remember that because of the achievements that they've made, but the reality is, they're just starting. They're just barely anyone has done something. I mean, outside of Suga and J Hope, no one has toured yet. And the tour of Suga and J-Hope are both small tours. I mean, they've only covered, how many stops do they have? They haven't even done stadiums outside of BMO for J-Hope. But I think several more years after their group activities, that seems to be the plan. They'll do their group activities, and then they'll do solo activities. I think once they begin, that is when we will actually see how big they're going to become. Okay. KAG, I think Korea gets it first. So most of the early posts are from them or people that ordered and live in Korea. Oh, is that about the 7 moments? Yeah, I haven't gotten mine. KAG actually sent me a message asking if I haven't gotten mine. No. Vision for the big picture in the future. Um, Vision, I definitely think that the metaverse is going to play a huge part of it, because it's going to break down geographical barriers and language barriers, and then it's going to fuse a lot of culture together. So I think metaverse is definitely there. I think art children or the children of our children will eventually experience a time when they're watching a concert in the metaverse. So that's definitely going to happen. I do think that everything is going to be trackable to make statistics and number of streams and charts more visible. So if you are in the blockchain, everything is trackable. So you can't cheat on things. If people want to see something, they can go inside the blockchain and actually see if there is anything that is fraudulent. So, the only way that you can cheat the blockchain is through mathematically cheating it, which is hard because there's a lot of, anyway, but it's very technical. But yeah, I think the metaverse, the use of the blockchain will become very popular. A Brown. So you don't expect them to do both group and solo at the same time. That was my expectation for when they come home. I think they'll do. There are some talks that Jungkook is going to do a solo tour. I hope, let's manifest. We're manifesting a lot of things. Let's manifest that he actually does a solo tour, and I will take anything. If he wants to do it before the return of the group, I will support him. If he wants to do it after the return of the group, then I will support him as well. Doesn't matter to me. As long as he does it and as long as he's happy with what he's doing, I will be supporting him. But my expectation is that they will do the group activities first before they do their solo, primarily because I think it's going to be very extensive. I feel that there are a lot of unfinished business that they kind of want to attend to, things that they weren't able to do that they should have done before COVID, one of which is a world tour. So I think it's going to be a gigantic world tour, the one that they're planning. And I think the planning of the next album and whatever it is that they're going to be doing is also going to be extensive. I believe the CEO of HYBE when he said that the group actually has to reimagine their future now. It's not as easy as having a narrative, doing um, three albums and then going on tour. I don't think it's going to be that way anymore. They do need to reinvent. That's how they feel. I'm not saying that that's what they should do. I think that's what they feel. So I think that's going to be extensive. Now the other factor is that I think the role, this is just my gut, I don't know if this is going to happen, but I do think that the involvement of the members are going to be different now. I think there are some members who will be more involved in the creation of it. Um, all of that, and then just finding, right, just like rediscovering each other again, is going to take some time. Um, so that's my expectation. I think they're going to do JK Jungkook. As I've said, I'll take whatever it is that I can get. Maybe he's going to do a tour. Um, or maybe it's a special kind of thing. Maybe he's going to do three venues in each continent, something like that. Not necessarily a tour, maybe a semi residency or something. I don't know, but he might do something. I just don't know if it's going to be like as extensive as we want it to be. I definitely want him to really go for it, because that's what he seems to want to do. So yeah, that's what I expect. Does Jungkook, where is that? Doesn't Jungkook need more solo music, which I think he can easily do? So if he, for his solo album, he has a solo album, and I think he's has several solo songs already, ones that he released while he was still before his formal launch as a soloist. So he can use those songs, and then he can sing some of the songs of BTS. I think that would be enough for a tour. um is it going to, like, he doesn't have 30 solo songs, but as a solo singer, but I think he has enough for a tour if he does all of that, like sing the songs that he released even while he was still with BTS before his actual solo career, and sing some of the songs of BTS. I think that will be enough. How much do you think the BTS concert tickets will start at front seats? I'm thinking a few thousand, probably. I mean, even if you just consider inflation, right? I mean, at some point in the US, we went up to about 9.5, 9.2, in inflation 9.6. And that is manipulated. That's not the real inflation numbers. Our inflation is actually higher than what the government is showing us. So Easily, easily 10% more. Easily. More probably 30% more. And we just got to give it to them because we don't want them to, we want them to earn for what they're doing, and we want them to pay people appropriately, enough. So yes, I think a couple of thousands maybe. um do you think concert DVDs is a good idea for those missing the concert can buy as a souvenir as well? Yeah, oh, definitely. DVDs are a good idea. I don't think I think I've mentioned this to you before. I don't really like the CDs that I buy, I don't really play that. I would play it once and then I would just stream. Um I think those things are for super fans. It's for the fandom more than anything else. Because I think people are eventually just going to stream. I think what they will skew more towards in the future is experience more than physical purchase. If you can provide the fandom or your super fans a different type of experience, that's what they're going to be going for. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a one-on-one with their favorite artist, it can be something else, right? So um but I think in the future that's going to be where it is headed. You provide a different experience for your fandom, and that's where metaverses actually can come in. Imagine going into the Bangtan universe, right? Imagine actually seeing and interacting with Seiyin and Kimwan and all of those characters. Imagine playing one of the characters in that drama. That could be something that may be available to the fans in the future. So experience is what I think is where they're headed towards in the future. um okay, do we have more questions? Inflation itself is manipulation. Yeah, whatever number you see, they're not real. Triple it, and that's where you'll be closer to that. I think their biggest profit as soloists is in concert because they get more money. It is always so. The two biggest sources of income of a musician is brand partnership and concerts. Those are the two biggest sources of income, and so that's why Big Hit is Hybe. Hybe. Hybe is actually challenging this norm because they're trying to really capitalize on the IP in order to come up with new products, right? I think that's why they decided to do merch by artist, because that will allow them to scale, meaning to produce more and sell more without actually requiring the time, and the energy of the artist. So they're really challenging that norm, but it's usually traditionally it is concert and brand partnerships. That's where the income is coming from, and they're changing it. They're trying to change it. I've already come in terms that I'm gonna get a nosebleed bleed seat, but at least I'll be there. Me too. I don't care for the future concert. I just want to be able to get one good seat because I'm going to be watching multiple times, right? I don't care. Just one good seat in one show. And then even if the rest is crappy, I don't care. I just want to be a part of the experience. So I will definitely be watching all LA shows. If there is Vegas, I'll probably be watching all Vegas shows. And then if they do Wembley, I'll watch Wembley. If I can get a ticket for Korea, why not? TXT has already done a VR concert. Yeah, that's the technology is very young. There isn't much that you can do yet. But I'm envisioning in the future that it's going to be more interactive. When I go into the metaverse, I can actually interact with the avatar of the artist. So, but you can translate it into something else. So, for example, for education, imagine now we're taught about our forefathers signing the Declaration of Independence, and that's like a great thing for us. Like imagining our forefathers sitting down on a table, around a table, and just signing the Declaration of Independence. What a beautiful idea. It's not really a memory, but what a beautiful idea in our heads. But imagine actually being able to see them right in front of you, going around as they actually sign the really being able to focus and zoom in to their signature. That would be like a different way of learning things. So that's the magic of the technology in the future. Imagine now, instead of just you're learning about the different body parts in biology, the heart, how it beats, you're actually seeing it right before you. This is how the heart pumps blood, and how, things like that. And then translate that kind of experience to music. Do you think Hype will do what they did with N-Hypen concerts with BTS as well, where they involve a whole city kind of festival like concert? Um, BTS actually did it already with with Vegas. The whole city was actually involved. So, and that was even before. It was just that they couldn't do it full scale, meaning they couldn't do it for a week or for a month. Well, they did it for a week because they were there for 4 days. So there, I think there were pre-events. If you go to Vegas a week before, there were already events. Different hotels participated. Different restaurants participated. They had like BTS themed menu and all of those. The entire city was actually colored purple. So they people were wearing, workers, government workers were actually wearing purple. There were some things that I wish they did, of course, like doing a theme park that is stuff like that. But given the time that they had, because they were already preparing for their solo activities and going into the military, that was pretty impressive, and it was huge because it was really the whole of Vegas. So they've done that already, and I think they're going to do it on a bigger scale next time. Is SK building a bigger stadium? I saw they wanted to have one finished by 2026. Did it get off the ground? They started it. I don't think it is done. I may be wrong, but I don't think it's done. I really want to invest in HYBE stocks. I actually have an international. So I think they will go public here. They're going to go enlisted in the in Nasdaq most likely. So it'll come. I think it's going to happen in the next 2 years. Wish BTS will do a residency in Vegas in 2026. At least even a semi-residency. If they do a festival, if they repeat the festival and make it bigger. I loved watching Yoongi's cinema concert, and definitely will love J-Hope. So make sure that you register your city to make them to let them know that it's actually that you want the screening to happen in your city. So make sure. Do you have any other question before I move into the Bangtan universe? I want choreography for Be Mine by Jimin. Come on, Jimin, give us a beautiful choreography for the song, The Filter, like Filter we are waiting for. How do we do that? Oh, you sign up. Wait, you did not get it? Wait. So you have to go to this link. I'm gonna put it I'm gonna put it here. You just have to make sure that you sign up. There. Here. I'll put it in the chat. Can I put it in? So this is actually, wait, do you see what I'm seeing? Nope. Nope, nope. There. So if you go into Weverse, they'll give you, there is an announcement and there is a link where you can sign up. Oh, that's a raffle. Wait. That's the raffle. Wait, wait, wait. Where is that? Oh, there's, so make sure you also sign up on the radio event. And then okay, I will post it on my Twitter, and I'll post it on Patreon. But you do need to, I would suggest that you sign up so that okay, okay, that you sign up so that sign up for this. You're just it's pre I think that is their way of knowing where people are concentrated so that they can show the movie there. Okay. Oh, Bang Luna, bye. Is Bang Luna leaving? Bang Luna, bye. Let's go to the Bangtan universe. Halina. Oh, please like the video. Halina, there's only 11 likes. Um, I saw it on Evie said I saw it on BTS Instagram stories about the cinema. Yeah, I'll find the link. I'll find the link. Okay, let's go to the Bangtan universe. So, as you know, BTS is going to be back in about 80 days. So, I want to sort of go back into the entire story. So, this is going to be a series. I can't finish it in one sitting. I definitely can't finish it today. I actually barely finished. I did not finish what I was supposed to present today. So, I will just go as far as I can, primarily because of all the things that are happening with J Hope's concert and organizing things and the tickets and all. And of course, I have my full time job and my business. So, okay, so Bangtan Universe. Um, do you know? So the I guess everybody kind of know the idea of the story. And also, before I proceed, there might be some spoilers. I tried and I will try to minimize it. But if you do not feel comfortable hearing any kind of spoilers, please log out because I might, you know, unintentionally do some spoilers. I don't want you to hate me. So if you don't want to hear any kind of spoiler, please log out. And please like the video. Please like the video because there are only 11 likes. So please like the video, Halina said. Okay. I heard the city of Seoul was discussing lending Sangam World Stadium for a BTS comeback, but they don't want the grass to be damaged. As always, a concern of many of these venues is the grass. I'm here for the spoilers, Dodgers said. Halina, thank you for reminding. I just like the video. Oh, thank you. Please like the video. Okay. So the I think everybody, if you've been watching their music videos, the general idea that you will get from the music video is kind of the heart of the story. Okay. Um, that is that there is time travel involved, and it is Jin that's actually time traveling. That's not a secret because, as I've said, everyone, that's one of the things that we kind of knew already from the beginning, that Jin is some sort of doing some sort of time travel because he was trying to save his friends. So we know that they are actually damaged. You know, the life that they are not necessarily damaged, but their life is damaged and it's pulling them down. And so as their his friends sort of go down into the abyss, he's the one who's actually decided he's going to try everything that he can to save his friends. So that's the heart of it. Like, if you know that, you can kind of know what the heart of the story is. But of course, the beauty is always in the details, and they have some of the best characters ever written. Now, the thing is that I don't know if you know this, but in the US, when you offer a story to producers, you're pitching a story. What that is what we call it. We pitch a story. And that's usually, I don't know if you know the term elevator pitch. It has to be very, very succinct, very short, and it has to pick the interest of the person that you're pitching it to, but not give the entirety of the details. So the details of the entire story. Now for Back to the Future, the way it was pitched was a boy goes back in time and tries to make his mother fall in love with his dad while she is falling in love with him. So that's how the director writer pitched it to the producers. So this boy goes back in time because he wants to fix the marriage, make his mother fall in love with his father. um the thing is that his mother was falling in love with him. So it was enough for the producers to actually put money in it. And we know that it has become one of the greatest movies ever made and one of the greatest franchises ever made. Titanic, the pitch was Romeo and Juliet in a sinking boat. That's how James Cameron pitched it to the producers. Romeo and Juliet in a sinking boat. So they, if you are if I am going to pitch Bangtan Universe, the best moment in life, the begins youth, how am I going to pitch it? This is how: seven boys must collect the most beautiful moments of their lives, scattered across different realities before they are lost forever. That's how I would describe it. And I feel that that kinda, sorta, perfectly describes what the story is. Because in the different realities that they travel into, that Jin travels to, um, there's a good version of each of the lives of his friends. So now what he wants is to be able to pick those beautiful moments and in each of the different realities, and put them all together in that one reality where everyone is saved, basically. Okay. All right. Do you have questions about the basic structure of the story? Okay, so Kim Wan Jin keeps on going back in time to save his friends, right? Um, scatter. Sorry. One of the friends actually killed himself. Okay, so and he's the hardest to save. This is Kim Wan, which is Jin. This is the character of Jin. He's rich, but he has a very distant relationship with his politician father. He's not necessarily um, a bad father. Borowinkle said, "I like your approach, Fairlane." Um, so the he's not his father isn't necessarily a bad father, and you can see that he actually truly cares for Kim Wan. It's just that there is a disconnect that even his father couldn't fix, and you can see that he's trying to connect. He's not, don't think that he's a bad father, that he beats him up or whatever. No, he's actually very generous. He's very understanding of his son. He doesn't always get it right, but you know that he's trying to do it right. Okay, so he lost his mom, and the assumption is that she passed away. We don't know if she actually passed away. My conclusion is that she didn't actually pass away. So she lost this mom, but it wasn't clear how. The mother is the one that is implied to be connected to time travel. If you watch Begins Youth, there is this scene where Kim Wan was actually looking through a video recording of his mother, and there's this one moment that flickered, and he keeps on wondering what that is, and it could be that an element of time travel was actually there. Jelma said, "Sorry, I have to go. Good night. Good night." Okay. He's new in the group. He's newest in the group. He was sent to the US to study, and he's now back with his father. So that's when he met the rest of the boys, the six boys. But he fit right in, not immediately, but he fit right in. Sein is Suga. Okay, this is the character of Suga. He also lost his mom, and he is being blamed for it. Spoiler alert. Okay, spoiler. So everyone's assumption is that he burned the place where his mother was, and that's how she died. So everyone thinks that he's like a psycho or something, and so nobody likes him because they're scared of him. His father is a military guy, some sort of a high-ranking military man. He gets left alone in the house a lot because his father is in the base, and he has Suga's the impression that a lot of people has on Suga. He has a devil may care attitude. He just kind of does whatever he wants to do, and he's very very close to Jia, which is Jungkook's character. But Jungkook is the one who actually attaches himself more to Suga. So Sain's love of for for Jia is very understated. It's there, but if you don't pay attention closely, you won't see how he cares for Jia. Melanie said, "Bye, I have to go to bye." Okay. Um, all right. And then the character of Josu, or sorry, Jong Hosu, which is J Hope. Okay, this is the character of J Hope, and he's an orphan. So we know this from the music video. He was actually left by his mother in a theme park. He's a very, very optimistic person, and he takes care of a young brother. It's not known if he's really a biological brother. He loves dancing, and he became very close to Park Haru, which is Jimin. Okay. So he's always smiling, so positive, such a good boy. Okay. And then Kim Dong-gun, sorry, I spelled it wrong. Kim Dong-gun is RM. He is carrying a deadbeat family. So Zayn, Lara said Zayn is my favorite. So his family just doesn't do anything right, and it's all up to him to pay the debts, to set them straight, to actually put food on the table. And this is while he's studying, and most of the time he has to sacrifice his own studies and his own opportunities just to accommodate his family. So multiple jobs, and he lives in a container. That's how, and which served as their hangout place as well. He's very, very smart, so very much RM, and he's very close to Juan, which is V. Okay, all right. Bonded by the absent mother. And then there's Park Haru, which is Jimin. He transferred from another school. He actually transferred from another city. So when he was a kid, he witnessed a really, really bad crime happening, and it affected him. It actually drove him to insanity, primarily because he couldn't let it out because his parents held him back from actually telling his story. So his parents controlled him and drove him to insanity. And to this day, up to the time when the drama actually started, he was suffering from a mental illness. Okay, but his family is trying to hide it. And he's very close to J-Hope. They're bonded by their love for dance. They both love dancing. And then Kim Jo-wan, which is V. His father is alcoholic. His parents are separated. Both are alive. Mother and father are alive, but they are separated because his father becomes a different person when he's drunk. He becomes a different person. He hurts people, and he's the only one left to take care of his father, and that has become a burden to him. He loves his sister, and he really, really wants his family to be happy together, to be together again. Unfortunately, that's not happening, and that becomes um, a burden to him. It has affected him, and he also changes. His personality changes as well. And then Jeha, which is Jungkook. His mother remarried a rich man. He's actually one of the most complex characters in the story. His mother remarried a rich man who hates him. Stepbrother, also hates him, and his stepbrother actually bullies him. He doesn't like the pretense of the life that they are living, and he's very close to Sane, which is his sugar. And when I say complex, it's because he actually is very nice, but you can see how his situation, his being bullied by his own stepbrother, drives him to do evil things. So we all have bad sides, right? We all have bad sides. No, nobody is 100% nice or 100% kind. And what his stepbrother forces him to do is to tap into that little bad side that he has in him in order to survive. So very, very complex character, but he loves his friends and specifically loves Sayin. Okay, so this is them. So this is Kim Donggun, which is RM. This is Kim Wan, which is Jin. Sayin, which is Suga. Hosu, which is J-Hope. Park Haru, and that is Jimin. Kim Juan, which is V. And Jeha, which is Jungkook. Juan is my favorite. Okay. Um, so happy I finally found a live session. Danji, I am 100% nice. Okay. So this is the seven characters, and those are their backstory. That's the premise of their stories. So from there is how things actually come together. So basically, whatever you see in the music videos, treat it as a major moment. Like that's where they show major moments, like major dramatic moments. But you can get a glimpse of what the story is. But for you to complete that, you need to read the manhwa, get the notes, and watch the drama for you to actually get the entirety of the story. The highlights, it's something like a short film. It's something like a short film where they capture, they answer several questions. that you have about the music video, but it still doesn't tie everything together. So you do need to get the manhwa, get the notes, and watch the drama for you to get the full story, the full experience. Okay, now several things. Essentially, the plot is that they met. They didn't start in the right foot. They actually had like a big fight in the beginning, and that's how. But in when they resolved the fight, that's actually how they became seven. And there's are nuances in there. That's why they were fighting. There's jealousy because RM, um, Donggun, and one, which is Jin, became very close, and that caused jealousy. B- Basically, Juan was very jealous because he was very close to RM, to Donggun. So when Donggun started sort of developing a close friendship with Wan, became very jealous, and that's how Kim Wan and Donggun actually started fighting. But after they resolved it, that's when they started becoming really close, and they became seven. So now the past of their parents catches up with them, and that's actually what destroyed them. So Sane's mother passed away, and as you know, a lot of people actually blame him for it because they accused him of arson, of actually burning the place where they live, and that killed his mother. Now, in the story, it is implied that the father of Kim Wan, Jin, is involved in that, and so is the father of Juan, V. It is not clear what the involvement is, but that there is some sort of involvement in that. And so, um, those things, because Sane wanted to know the truth, he needed to know the truth of the death of his mother. He's uncovering all of these things. And so it starts a complicated narrative because then he's starting to figure out, oh, your father is somehow involved in my mother and whatever. So things like that. Now, as everyone goes astray, as everyone goes, they formed a really strong bond to the point where, so that scene in the music video where they were escaping the insane asylum where Jimin, the character of Jimin, Haru, is, that happened in the drama as well. So Haru was checked in, and they tried to, sneak him out. They did, running around and whatever. And then after that one night of happiness, everything falls apart. Now, Kim Won is the one who decided, okay, I'm going to have to correct everything. I'm going to do this. I'm going to time travel until I save everybody and I get it right. So I don't think, if you buy the notes, if you have the notes, I don't think that is the end. I don't think that the conclusion in the book is actually the conclusion. It's actually just the start. And then the other thing is that the involvement of the parents of Wan, Kim Wan, Jin, and Donggun, V, to the death of Sain's Shoga's mother is deeper than we think. But I do not think they are evil. I think the involvement, we will know the explanation and how those two got involved, but they aren't evil. In other words, they didn't just kill the mother of Sain, of Shoga, but there is some sort of involvement. And I think at the end of it all, Kim Wan has to choose between saving his mother or saving his friends. So that would be, so in the end of Begins Youth, um, he wasn't able to, because that's the first try, and he wasn't able to save anybody. But I think as he tries to save everybody, the question will be, are you going to save your mother? Because he's able to travel back in time. Are you going to save your mother, or are you going to save your friends? So that's a question that he needs to answer. Okay. So that's where I will end it temporarily because that's a lot. So in the next episode, I'll go through the storyline of um, Begins Youth. After that, I'll go through the storyline. I'll do it chronologically, basically. I'll do it part by part. So I will let you know if I'm picking it up from the music video, from the highlights, from the notes, from the Begins Youth, from the manhwa, until we see the entire universe in its totality. Now, the only thing that I will say is that these are all up for interpretation, right? So until they actually conclude this entire thing, I don't know when that's going to happen. We're still interpreting things. So I'm not saying that I'm totally right, but I will be very clear if I am putting my own interpretation or if it's something I'm actually picking up from the materials that they provided. Any news about season two? No, no news yet. Smeraldo. So I do think the different eras. I think all of the music videos, the eras that they made, I those are all connected. Because remember, this is time travel, right? This is time travel. So I think they've always been connected in different lifetimes, in different generations, in different reincarnation. So all the way from on to, and it's backwards. So it has to be, it's backwards. So they the latest first, and then they went back in time, but they've always been connected. Something fresh. The storytelling by means of world building is the best kind of story to read and watch. Thank you for today, Live Fairlane. Good night, everyone. Gotta go. Have a long day tomorrow before the concert on Friday. Good night. We're almost done as well because I only have 10 minutes. So um, let me know if you have questions before we all go. Evie, good night. See you next time. Has to be a thriller at Abram. So that someone came in just now and said hi. The Bio Explorer. Fire Butterfly, the Bio Explorer. The Bio Explorer say hi. Hi, the Bio Explorer. So, okay, so do you have questions about the universe? Any questions about the character, about their relationship, still connected to? Yes. So the I think that's the most beautiful moment in life is the heart of it. But everything, so as I've said, I think it will happen backwards. So the latest is the first, and then everything, and then they went back in time. But I think like the point is that they've always been connected, and so different times, different realities, they've always been connected. How is your book? So finally, I think I showed you guys my website, right? So it's almost done. It's almost ready for release. I will do a soft launch of the website. So I'll keep it that way for about 3 months just to see how people are going to respond to it, see what will be good, and then I will professionally design that. So, but as soon as it's in the test phase, like it's in a soft launch, then I will be able to fully concentrate on the book. But it's already moving. I'm actually, the entire thing is done. There are just certain scenes that I left out because it's hard to write. There are certain things, for those of you who actually write, sometimes there are scenes when you feel it's so hard to write, like you can't even get the right sentence right or something like that. So those parts I left out, especially scenes where certain things are revealed about the character. It's so hard for me to write. So I'm very, I get very into my characters. Like for me, they become their own. They become so real for me. And so I suffer with them. Like if the character is going through a heartbreak, I actually go through a heartbreak with that character. Or if it's the character is happy, then I become happy. So it's so hard to write when the scene is very heavy. So the entire book is done. It's just that part that I those parts that I need to go back to and write. And then most likely, the first version is always trash. So then I have to go back several times to actually refine it. I have to admit, sounds great, the book. I hope it is. I have to admit, I've never been good with their themes and narratives. It always amazed me how Army can see and know what's coming. It's not that easy, yeah. It's to piece everything together, especially because they never actually put it together. Which is what I'm actually attempting to do, like really connect everything so that it's not like, oh, this is the notes and this is the highlights and this is the, I just want to put everything together. um so yeah, it is harder that way because they don't actually make it clear. um yes, thank you, Sandra. JJ, good night. Have fun at the concert. My daughter is going on Friday night. We'll be traveling from Canada to LA tomorrow for Friday concert. Oh, but why are you not going? um, the note is 178.64. Oh my God. Whew. The only regret I have with the note is that I didn't buy more than one copy because then I was so careful in reading it. um, that's expensive. Maybe that's a reseller. I'm pretty sure. Film script for R7, Fairlane. Yes, that's the goal. Good night, Helena. Good night, Helena. Yes, please like the video. Okay. We have 5 more minutes. Do you have questions? Part two is 178. My God, no. No, 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 no. Don't buy that. That's too expensive. That's too expensive. Don't buy that. Try eBay. Try eBay. They might have something in eBay. If you're in the US, I think they might be. Used? Oh my God. 178? My God. No, 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 no. Don't. Don't do that to yourself. Try eBay first. I'm sure there is something on eBay. So maybe even if it is used, who cares? But try eBay. That's so expensive. I bought it for like I don't even remember, like $20 or 38 or something like that. What day and time PST is your next live? So on Friday, when we're in the suite already, we're probably gonna go and do a short live just while we're all there, just to say hi to everybody. So please tune in. And then Monday is my next one, and that will most likely include a review of the concert because by then I've actually seen it live already. Yeah, so Monday and 7 p.m. most likely, 7 or 6. I'm actually trying to go 6:30. So let's see. No paid vacation anymore. Tuition is holding me hostage. Chaco Seven Fates. Have you read? Yes, I have it here. So after the universe, after Bangtan Universe, I'm going to do that. But yes, and I also have that, and that is still available on Amazon. So if you want to buy that, please, because that's still available. See you all on Friday. Carla, girl, yes. See you all on Friday. Looking forward to the fun night. Fairlane, good night. This is Helene. Thank you for all you do. We appreciate you. So looking forward to meet you in person. And I'm looking forward to meeting you as well. Okay, I'm gonna become a counselor, and Fairlane is gonna hire me as my counselor in the army. Have a great time in LA. Okay, so if you don't have questions, then we can go now. I'll see you next. I'll see you on Friday for a live. I'll see you guys, everybody in the suite. I'll see you on Friday, and we'll do a short live. So please wait for that. And then Monday, I'll be live again for just the regular live stream. eBay part one is 64.72. That's better than 172, right? Keep on looking. I'm sure you'll find like a used one. Okay, and then KAG, if I see something, I'll send you a link on Patreon. Okay, bye everybody. Thank you for staying with me. Bye. Don't forget to like the video. Please like the video. Like